That beat going crazy.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video and the first in-depth episode on the SV650s. So some of you might have seen the video where I collected this on the weekend and I did a sort of quick walk through the bike, show you and tell you a little bit about the bike. Today's the first day I'm actually going to do some work on it. Don't know how far I'm going to go, but what I'm going to look into is if we can possibly get it started. That's the first thing. So we're going to check everything. We'll check the oil, we'll check the plugs. I'm not going to put the carbs on because the carbs are already off and they do need reassembling. So I'm going to do that probably in a separate video where I'm going to overhaul those carbs. But we could probably use some carb cleaner or something like that, brake cleaner, see if we can get some life out of it. What are we doing? We do a compression test on it as well. And obviously we need to check the electrics to make sure it even can start. That's one of the other things. So we'll connect the clocks so we can get some sort of diagnosis of what's going on. I've got the keys. Apparently this has an alarm on it, so I've got to figure out how to get past that as well. See if we can get the spark and all that good stuff. So I'm going to show you guys the bike quickly and then we get straight into it. Okay, just before I show you the bike, I want to show you update as well on the NC50 number 2, or the NC30, sorry, number 2. And one of the issues I've come up with as well. So I've just rested on here, the rear section. You can see here, I've got this painted up as well. So it's just sort of rested on, it's not bolted. The seats are just resting on there. I need to get the seats retrimmed. They're going to be in a different color as well. But what I did notice, and you might be able to pick it up on the camera, is that the paint is slightly different, which is a little bit annoying. So this was the first parts that we painted, was the tank and the front mud guard. And then I had to get more paint, which I did get. And then I resprayed the whole back area. But I feel like the color is a bit darker on here, and it's actually a nicer color. So I'm not sure what I can do about that. The problem is when you buy spray cans, there've been various different batches. I had to get some tins from one shop, another 2 tins from another shop because it's limited in stock. So this is an issue, unfortunately. So yeah, I've just temporarily as well bolted on these old fairings that I had just to sort of have a look what it's going to look like. I don't know whether I'm going to use these fairings or not. Definitely not using this. This is just trash. So I need to now find a front head, probably a front head and a set of fairings. But what if I get the front head and it matches and fits well with this, then I might just use these and then just use the front head that I need. But yeah, this is it. So I did also sort out the carb leaking issue. I took it out the other night and adjusted the float ball heights, and that sorted that out. So we don't have leaking carbs anymore. So the bike is pretty much sound and ready to go. The only thing we've got to do is the rear brakes. So I'm looking for a rear brake set to put on there, and I need to get a petcock for the tank and obviously a new gas tank lock. And then that is pretty much the bike mechanically done. And it's just going to be the body and things like lights and indicators and so on. So I just wanted to show you guys a quick update on that. So here is the SV650. I've only just brought it inside. I had it on a cover for the last couple of days outside. So basically, you can see here the carbs have been removed. And so we've got 2 spark plugs, one here, one over there. So we're going to check those. We're going to do a compression test. Also got to figure out the oil. So this is the oil here, I guess. I'm not sure if this is where the dipstick is. Oh no, it's got a spyglass on this. So I'll have to get some light, check the spyglass, make sure we've got enough oil in there. So that's one of the first things that I'll do. Right, so got a little bit of light in there. Not sure if we can see. I think this is telling you how much oil. 2300 milliliters, maybe 2.3 liters, I'm guessing. Okay, so there is a line here, I guess. Yeah, there we go, low and full, so it should be in between. I think I can see a line, I'm not really sure. It's really hard to see, but I think I see a line of oil here. Yeah, so I think there's oil in it. So I think we would probably just jump in straight to a compression test. I'm going to take these out. Let's get down and get those plugs out, and then get a compression tester in there. Right guys, I almost forgot. Before we can do a compression test, we need to get some sort of power through this thing. So here are the clocks for this. We've got fuel light, neutral light, oil pressure light, high beams, turn indicators. So yeah, oil pressure light can also help us to make sure that we've got pressure. So looking at the harnesses, I would imagine that this is the connection. There's not that many there. Looks like this one. So let's see if we get any power, and that's if we have any battery life as well. Yeah, so things are coming to mind as we get along. We're gonna need to check for battery as well, aren't we? All right, let's grab the key. The battery, if it is connected, it's probably dead. All right, so I've turned ignition on and nothing. Now there is some alarm thing that you're supposed to touch with this little fob. I'm not sure if that cuts the power either, but we shall have a look. Okay, so we're dead. So more than likely we got a dead battery, or we got no battery at all. I don't think there is no battery. Okay, that makes sense. So we got no battery. So I'm going to borrow a battery from the other VFR. Hopefully that should be enough to power it. So we get a battery. Right, so we got a battery now. So we got positive on this side. I think I can see the wiring for the alarm, so we're going to connect to the alarm up for now. And if we have any issues, then we're going to have to look into that, or maybe removing it. It should fit. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Perfect fit. Right. This one. So there's already one more part that I need to get that I didn't think about. I need to get a battery. I'm sure the list will get longer. A battery and a fuel tank at the moment. Right, so we've got a battery. Let's see if we get any power on here. So I'm going to turn it on. Yes, we do. We got petrol. Fuel light came on. Gone off again. It probably won't work without being connected to sender anyway. We've got mileage 25,000, if you guys can see that. 25, almost 26,000. And no alarm came on, so that's a good thing. So should we hit the ignition and see if we hear anything? Right, there's a kill switch. Let's see first if we got any lights. Horn. No horn. So we've got no horn. So this does have a choke on it. That's a choke. We've got no horn and we've got no indicators. I'm wondering if the battery's killed, if the alarm's killed the power to everything else. Alright, let's try and start it anyway. Nothing, as I expected. So, completely dead. I'm wondering whether that's an alarm issue. Even, no, we've got a fuel light now. Oh, okay, it wasn't in properly. Maybe that might change things. Nope, nope, still dead. Okay. Let's see. No horn. To me, no horn, no indicators. I suspect there's just no power getting to where it needs to get to. Let's try this alarm thing. Right, I was told you just need to touch it on this little metal thing down here. And that should disengage the alarm. Nope. No difference. No difference. Okay. Should we check some fuses? Let's check the ignition fuse. There's a 10 amp fuse here. Let's see. Yeah, that fuse is good. While we're here, let me get the multimeter and see if we get any power down at the fuse box. 12.5 volts on one side, 3.4 on the other. Well, it says we have power. See if there's anything else that's disconnected. Okay, is anything else disconnected? Ah, there we go. What's this? Okay, so all the controls for this are disconnected. This yellow one, all the controls actually disconnected on this side. And the controls for the other side are disconnected. Right. Alright, so I've just found the control cable that connects to this is disconnected, and the control for this side is hanging down here, which is also disconnected. So we've got to find where these connect to now and connect them up. Let's see. Where do these go? Ah, this yellow one must be the yellow one here. That looks right. Turn it off. And this one looks like this one. Right. I think we'll be in business now. Let's try again. There we go. So we got horn. Got indicator at the back. Yep. The front ones are disconnected, but the indicators at the back are working. Let's see our backlights. Yep, backlight is working. So I'd imagine we're gonna have ignition now. Okay, let's go for it. Nope, no ignition. So We know we've got power to this section because we're getting the backlight working. Definitely. Yep. Got lights working, but we've got no ignition. And the ignition is on the same harness, which is this one. So, starter motor. Starter motor is here. I think this is the starter motor, the starter relay here. Okay, so here is the starter relay. So we got, I think that's the line from the battery, and then that should be the feed to the starter relay, to the starter. We got 2 fuses there as well, and then we got the control signal, which should switch the relay. So that control cable is here. Let's see if we can see where that's going. It's going up inside here somewhere. All right, let's first see if we've got, check out these fuses as well. I'm gonna first check out these fuses here and make sure that they're good. So I've checked the 2 fuses there and they look good. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to bridge with a screwdriver these 2 cables here, and that should send power straight from the battery down to the starter motor. Let's see if that does anything. Actually, before I do that, actually I just thought of something. I think I know why. We didn't have a neutral light on, so maybe the bike's not in neutral, but it should be neutral because I was pushing it. But we're not getting a neutral light. We should get a neutral light. Why are we not getting a neutral light? The actual gear change levers actually were removed, but I'm pretty sure the bike is in neutral. Why don't we have a neutral light on here? Last thing we want to do is hit the starter motor and it's in gear. I mean, it shouldn't be in gear because it pushed quite easily. Unless there's a sensor like a neutral position switch or something like that that's not connected. Why we're not getting a neutral light? We should get a neutral light. Let's see. We're getting the indicators flashing. We're getting, let's see if we get the high beam light. Get high beam light. And neutral light we're not getting, which is interesting. All right, I'm going to try and flip through the gears maybe by hand and see if I can get this neutral light to come on. All right guys, I'm quite confident that this is in neutral because as I said, the bike is pushing quite freely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it and see if we can get the starter, some life out of the starter motor, just to make sure it's not the starter motor that's the fault. If it does kick in, then I'm going to have to go and look for a schematic for this and try to find out why this is not connecting to the button up there. And maybe do some research on this alarm as well and try and see if I can figure out how we can maybe disconnect the alarm system. All right, let's try. Okay, so our starter motor is good. That's good news. Starter motor is good. So it's an electrical issue, and I'm gonna pretty much think that is going to lead towards the alarm or mobilizer or whatever it is, because this ignition button is completely dead. So I'm going to look into a schematic. I think I've got a manual for this online. I'm gonna look for a schematic and see if I can figure out what's going on. I'm also going to take this rear section off so we can see the rest of the wiring. The alarm is probably under here, so let's have a look at that as well. go. Ah, this cable here. I wonder if this is a ground for the alarm. Or the other side, or maybe this is the ground for the alarm. This looks like, there we go, alarm. So I found a cable that wasn't connected, so this is the ground for the alarm. So we need to connect that and then somehow try to shut off the alarm. So it's supposed to be able to shut it off using this magnet. So I'm going to connect it and see if it will shut off. It's quite loud, isn't it? Let's try it. Ah, that worked. That works. Straight away. Okay, cool. So I'm going to connect that ground, which I missed out. I couldn't see it underneath there. Yeah, that was our problem. And then we'll try to shut off the alarm straight away. Let's see if I can get this out. Okay. Alright, so that is the alarm. So that flashed the lights twice. I don't know if I've either set it or removed it. So there's a light flashing here. I reckon the alarm is on now. And that flashed once and the light's gone off. So I reckon the alarm is off. So let us try now and start it. Okay. But we still have no neutral light, so I'm not sure why that is. So there's definitely something going wrong here. Well, let's try it now. Yes, sorted. So that wasn't the alarm issue or immobilizer, and now we have got started. Amazing. Let's get these tissues out of here. Okay. So just my fault, something I should have known, something you do on your test and you've got to learn. When you're checking these, you should have the bike level. So as soon as I bring the bike up level, you will see the oil coming up. So we can see the oil levels rise up, and it is spot on in the middle. So we're good with oil. I had the bike leaning on its side, which drops the oil back down. So that's why I couldn't see anything. So we've got oil, we've got start power. So next we're gonna get these spark plugs out and we're gonna do a compression test. Guys, so I had to take the radiator off to get to this spark plug there. The radiator's like really flat. So I had to take the radiator off, drained out the coolant. The coolant looks really clean. It's green, really, really clean. So that's good. I've got the two spark plugs out. Now the back and the front one was slightly, they look a bit different. I mean, the front one was completely dry. You guys can see it. So again, tell me what anybody's thoughts are on this plug. It's a little bit rusty around here. This is the front one, quite dry. This is the back one, which a little bit rusty around there as well, but it was a bit wet. So I'm not sure what that is, but these are the two plugs. I'm going to put them in my plug tester as well and just check that out and see how healthy they are, and then we're going to do the compression test. Right, so I've got the two spark plugs in. Let's have a look what they look like. There's one. It looks good to me. The other one looks good as well. So yeah, they look good. They look good for now. If we have any issues with running them, we'll replace them, but otherwise I think they're good. Right, so we're going to do the back cylinder first. See if we can get this threaded in. I'm using my digital meter on this one. Right, it's a bit easier for you guys to read it. Gotta get it to come on first. Right, sorry guys, I had to get some new batteries in here. Now we're back in business. Right, so we're set to PSI. So let's try and crank this over. Oh gosh, I gotta remember about this alarm. This is gonna be annoying. At least we know the alarm works. Right, let's try again. Okay, we're looking at about 200 psi. Sounds a bit high. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be actually. Let's try that again. Oh, okay, so we're going past 200 psi. Doesn't sound a bit right to me. I feel like the seller did say that he had put oil in the cranks at some time to keep them lubricated. So I'm wondering if there's oil in here. Right, let's try the front one. That sounds very high to me. Too high. Alright, let's try this one. This has also gone past 200 psi. Right guys, so I've done a little bit of research and I'm coming up with conflicting figures. I found somewhere that said 215 and shouldn't be lower than sort of 160. You can see I'm maxing out at 200 on that particular meter that I'm using. The maximum is 200. So I've got a manual one here which goes up to 300. So I'm going to put this one in and see what the figures come up to. All right, let's try again and see what we come up with this one. Okay, so this one is a little bit dodgy. It kind of leaks a bit, but it's sort of settled about 185. So that makes me feel a lot better. So it's 185. We're going to do the back one and see if we get a similar reading. Okay, let's go. And that is spot on 185 as well. Do have a dodgy connection here, but I like how it jumps up to 100 right really quickly. and it's literally settled at 185. So both of them are stopped at 185, so that's really good. I'm going to have one more go with the digital one just to see if it sorted itself out. I don't know, maybe so I put new batteries in it, I don't know. Well, let's try. Okay, it's sort of stopping about 189, so that sounds better. 188. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're about the 185, between 185 and 190. And from one place that I read, it's sort of 160 to 215. So, or 170 to 215 is good. So, I think we're good with that. While we've got the plugs out, we might as well stick a Borescope down there and see if we can just to see what it looks like in there. If I can get this one to fit in there, yes I can. I can't see the sides of the pistons because I just can't get this in there. But let's see if you guys can see the. Not sure if you'll be able to see it. You might be able to see the piston head. So there's a lot of glare on this. Well, that's that cylinder here. It looks okay. And here is the other one. So again, it looks okay to me. All right, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put the plugs back in, and we're going to squirt some car cleaner down there if I have any left, and see if we can get this thing to fire. Right guys, so let's see if we got spark before we move any forward. So we'll do the rear cylinder first. I'm just going to ground it here. Ground it somewhere. All right, let's see if we get any spark. Yeah, got spark there, so that's great. All right, let's try the rear spark plug as well. So we got spark on the front as well. So put the spark plugs back in, put the spark plug leads back in, and we're good to go. So let's try and see if we can get this thing started. So I've only got a little bit of this stuff left, so let's see if we can make this work. So I'm going to spray a little bit in each of these intakes. Let's go. Not sure what's happening there. Turn it off and turn it on again. Sounds like the starter motor's struggling a bit. I'm hearing the relay clicking. Not done anything different, have we? Putting this back. Let me check our battery, just make sure our battery's charged. We might have a low battery. .7, so we were 12.5 when we started, so I'm going to put the booster on this and see if that makes a difference. And I'm going to have to charge my battery up anyway, so might as well stick it on. Let's see if this makes any difference. Oh, that's better, much better. We had some ignition in there. It's quite deep down this chamber, and there's not really much coming out of this. Sort of more like air coming out. I'm gonna try with a little bit of petrol. It liked a bit of petrol in there. Alright guys, I think the engine's running. I think we'll leave it here. So guys, you saw we had evidence of life out of it. I didn't want to play about it too much. So we need to get the carbs done. So we need to get the carbs rebuilt, get the carbs in. I'm pretty confident this is going to run. So I'm going to leave it here. So I just want you to know we had compression. We had a good engine. We got an engine that can fire, which we know we have. So now let's get the carbs rebuilt, get the carbs on, get this bike up and running first, and then we can look at stripping this down and rebuilding it. So yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Please comment and subscribe to follow this build. We're going to get this bike up to tip-top condition. So as usual, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon on the next one. Take care. Going crazy.